Hey friends, how's it going? Well, welcome back. It's our time together this week. I know, it's been a whole week since the last video. And so here we are. Yeah. It's a beautiful day outside. It's going to be a little warmer. It's going to be in the mid to high 80s. But I'm not going to be around this weekend. No. I'm going to be going to Tehachapi. That's right, good old Tehachapi for an annual event held at a VFW there. And it's called the Western Swing Out. As you can see, I'm wearing a t-shirt. Western Swing Out. I actually designed this logo. This is my t-shirt design for a previous year. And they usually go, they draw upon other graphic designers for every year. There's been some mention that they're dissatisfied with their choices, and I says, well, you have my number. I'm friends with the creator and head promoter. So, yeah. Anyway, that's what I'm doing this weekend. It's going to be fantastic. Going to see a lot of people, and it's going to be a lot of fun. I went last year, and it's always great because they play, well, there's always a lot of bands there. They've chock full that whole weekend. Memorial Day weekend full of the best Western swing bands that, you know, play the style of the 30s, 40s, and 50s and 60s of the classic Western swing era. That's why I'm wearing my cowboy hat and my t-shirt, because I'm going to kick up my boots and head on out to Tehachapi. That's right. It's going to be great. A lot of dancing, a lot of friends. I'm volunteering for a couple days. And that's going to be fantastic. Absolutely. Oh, yeah. Yes, sir. Anyway, I'm burning the Buell. The Buell number O with the match safe. The little matchbox. Yeah. How about that guy? It's pretty hot. Yeah, well, it should be. It's a hot blast. And it's burning, so yes. But anyways, puns aside, I thought, you know, I haven't burned this thing in a while, so I might as well enjoy it. And it's a beautiful piece, and I've had it for, I think, since 2020, maybe 2019 or so. Yeah. Very special lantern. I love this piece. Anyways, that's not what we're sharing today. We have something else I'll bring up to the mention. It's kind of a revisit, because I know I have a lot of newer subscribers, and you guys are all kind of learning at different speeds, and that's fine. That's there's no problem with that. I'm just going to bring back some things that maybe you didn't catch the first time, because some of it's kind of far back, and I don't want you to keep scrolling back, but it's always good to bring certain pieces up so it stays relevant and in the public eye and in the public mind, I guess, and the channel in this community. Just for those who are just starting out with tubular lanterns, and you get to learn all the different variations, and at least the ones that I have, anyhow. Yeah. But I want to say that I've been getting a lot of good positive reviews on my last video from last week. And I just got a comment this morning, and it was lovely. And thank you for sharing that with me. And you know, it's something I'm really kind of leaning into a little bit. I mean, I have my primary content that I share, but the thing that I love about what I've created out here in the time cave, if you want to call it that, is that it's a place to exchange ideas and share things that maybe we wouldn't ordinarily. And since all you can't be here for cigar nights because it's limited on space and everyone's all over the place, and it's just not going to happen. Sorry, it's nothing personal. Of course, you understand that, but you guys can be here with me through these videos, and we can have conversations, and we do, because I'll share something that's happening with me, and then you guys will watch the video, and then you'll leave a comment with something in the same vein, or share an experience that's similar, and you know, that's pretty much a conversation. Really, it is. You're sharing things, and I'm sharing things, and we're all sharing things. It's kind of a group therapy at times, I think, but that's a good thing. That's a very good thing, because there's not a lot of positive type of things out in the world right now. And there are, if you know where to look, but I enjoy sitting here burning something, sharing something, of course, which we will always do, but then also having like a little chat. And I'm glad that you guys out there find that that you appreciate it, and I'm really glad to hear that and know that. So thank you for the wonderful comments and contributing to the community and the channel. So yeah, thank you. I do appreciate it, and I love reading comments. And since we have a very intimate community, it's good for me because I don't have to do a lot of, too much reading. So yeah, I mean, the channel's not going to grow and make a lot of money. That's fine. I had aspirations at one time to make this a secondary income. But you know what? I love what I do, and I love sharing with you guys. And the community that we've created is just very special. And it's gotten me through some hard times. I know it's been helping you guys through some of the things that you are faced with. So yeah, it's more than that. It's more than, being successful being a successful YouTuber and making money and everything. Sometimes that's just a little vain and vulgar, I think. But yeah, it's bigger than that, I think. Anyway, sorry to deviate and get all sentimental and everything, but I appreciate you guys. Thank you. I will keep up the good work as long as you guys keep on commenting and sharing with me in the comment section. I do appreciate it, and yeah, no, for sure. So with that being said, we're going to turn our attention to the main event. And this here is a Deets top lift. Let's move the Buell over here. And this here has been on the channel at least a couple times. I've had it as a supporting light. And also when I got it, I shared it. Now I have a Deets globe. This is an amber colored D-light globe. Now these are they're unfortunately very rare. The globes especially. But this one I got from another collector, and he sanded it down. He smoothed it out. It's it's got some cancer, but it looks cool. It has a satin finish, more or less. But I think it's a cool piece. But I want to share this one because it's original. I got it from another collector up in, I want to say Seattle area. That would be Bradley. But this thing, I had one of these. I got it off of eBay back in, oh gosh, I don't know, 2020 or maybe 2019 or something. And I got it for like a really cheap price. No one bid on it. It was painted black. I don't think it had a globe, so people were like not interested in that because it had no globe. But I knew what it was, and it was painted black, and I'm like, well, D-light globe is easy. I got one of those. I got spares. The globe was a non-issue. I got it for $20 or something like that. I don't know. I got it for steal. And I was going to strip it, and there was a really good lantern underneath that black paint, but I never got around to it. I enjoyed it for a bit, and then I sold to another collector and made a little bit of money, and he loves it, and it's great. But yeah, I missed it. I started to miss it. I'm like, you know what? I shouldn't have sold that. So I thought, well, shoot, I'll find another one. So I talked to Bradley, and he's like, yeah, I got a top lift D-light. What are you looking for? I'm like, well, 1913 era, whatever. He's like, oh, okay, yeah, I got one. So he sent me a picture of one that he was thinking of selling and sold it without a globe because I already had one I wanted to use. And so, yeah, we came to a deal, and he sold me this one for fair price. And, yeah, I got it, and I just did a very minor little WD-40 scrub on it and dried it off, and there it is. And it's got a nice satin appeal to it. It's not overly patinaed, but it's just got a good, as found look to it. Now, for those who don't know the top lift design, now in my last video I shared the finger lift, the ham finger lift, which is, you could consider it a top lift design. But this is what they call, or what became known as a top lift design. So with this, early first generation D-light, this was the very first D-light that Deets introduced, and it was a top lift style lantern. And for whatever reason, 1912, 13, 14, this type of cold blast was becoming very popular. It was a new idea, a new invention at that time, and everybody was doing it. Everyone was doing it. There was an interesting trend because it was new. The squat globe lantern was a new thing. It was a brand new design that came out right around 1912. And Defiance did it. Embry did it. Paul's did it. All these different lantern companies. C.T. Ham came out with the new style, which was essentially the same lantern with a little different look and maybe a little fancier. I think the new style is a little fancier looking than the Deets. But I love the Deets. I like these reinforced air tubes with the beads and then the little holes punched up here. And people have asked what that's for. Those little dimples up there. Well, it's to retain the spring. So there's a spring inside here, and it retains the spring. So yeah, so they make these little divots, and it holds the spring in place, so it doesn't come loose. But that was only about 1913 they did that. I think maybe into early 14, but it was very brief that they did those little divots, and they figured another way to keep the spring in there. But anyhow, I think there is a spring in this. I'm pretty sure there is, because I don't think it's, well, I can't say, because it's the top lifts of other designs don't have a spring in there. Only the traditional cold blasts have a spring in the baffle. But anyways, let's get into it. So how you operate this lantern? You think, well, if the lift lever's up there, why would it be up there to lift the globe? Well, here's the thing. The globe doesn't lift on this lantern. No, not at all. So you flip this down, and the chimney lifts. See that? Check that out. You go like this, and the chimney lifts. That's what happens. Why does it do that? That's not lifting the globe. No, it doesn't. It lifts the chimney. But here's the thing. So you do that, okay? And this was the whole idea behind this design. You tilted the globe back, okay? And that exposes your burner. Easy there, Rocky. So that exposes the burner. And, just let that sit back there. And then the burner, it can come out to either replace the wick. Has a little bayonet lock. See that? See it slides back or forth there, unlocks. And then you can take it out. Now, I will say that in some cases, these burners are a real pain in the neck to focus. No, they're a pain in the neck to get out because they're tin, and so is the frame, so in the burner cup. So over 100 plus years, given the right circumstances, these will rust, and they're very, very difficult to get out. Very difficult to get out. So I'm like, okay. I know of guys that have gotten them out, but some people just feed the wick down through the top, and they just like, whatever, it's fine, because there's a lot of contact with that burner to the frame or the air chamber and everything. So the regulator is like holding onto it. So there's very close tolerances. And rust, once it gets in there, it's very hard to get it out and treat it. But there's ways, and it takes a lot of patience and time, but you can get it out if you know what you're doing. But anyways, this one, of course, was not seized up or anything, so that was great. But I will put some fuel in this so we can do a little bit of burn. Let me bring my can over here. All right. I do like this lantern. I like burning it. I don't burn it too often, though, because I have others that I've been enjoying. That's right. But that's what happens. You get favorites, and you kind of stick to those favorites. But the whole idea with this top lift design was because every time before you lit it, you wanted to check your wick. Right? You wanted to check your wick. And let me see if I have something to trim this thing with, because it's actually good to... I'm looking at it, it's got some char on there, so before I light it, I can just, you know, take it out, inspect, just a little, you know, we'll do a little trim. Yeah, here, just kind of, yeah. I don't have a whole light out here, and then the air tube blocks the light that I need to see. Anyway, so funny. Yeah, so we got that. Let's get that back down in there and lock it into place. Now, sorry if the camera's shaking. It's teetering on its stand. Okay, so now we got the wick trimmed, and the globe is still back. And we are going to adjust our wick so we can about right there. That's where you want to start off when you light a lantern. You want your wick no higher than that. No higher than that. Actually a little lower. There you go. Why? Well, you're not lighting a tiki torch. You're not supposed to see the wick above the cone. And these things, the cone is designed to make the flame spread out and provide more light. That's right. There we go. There we go. Light it. See how tall the flame is with the wick that tall? Yeah. Take advantage. All right. And then we tip it back. All right. And then we go like this. Ta-da! It's lit. Not bad, right? But yeah, then you can adjust your flame to the desired height. And there you go. And it works great. It's a neat design. It didn't catch on, sadly, but there was just too many extra steps, because every time you want to light your lantern, you technically don't need to inspect the wick and trim it. I mean, some people do, and that's fine if that's what they want to do. I mean, there was a task maintaining these things for nightly use or to having them ready. So what a lot of people would do is, before they lit it and during the day, they would fuel their lamps and trim their wicks and make sure everything was ready for nighttime. And that was done by the wait staff, if you were fortunate to have the money to have a staff, or they were done by the lady of the house or the family. And cleaning glass, globes, chimneys, and trimming wicks and fueling all the lamps in the house was a daily ritual, because you burned lamps way into the night and you had to make sure they were still full for the next night. It was a thing. It was what people used to do before electricity became widely used. That's right. So there you go. But yeah, it's a nice old lantern. They're very rugged, and they turn up ever so often, and sometimes you can get them for a fair price, but a nice example can go for $150, maybe more. Yeah. And certain examples I've seen go for more. That's right. They did offer them with a brass or copper fount, and some of them were offered with a brass fount and a brass baffle. And those are fancy. Those are nice. People like those because they were kind of fancy and they, didn't rust. So the baffle and the fount, if they're brass, they're not going to rust. And those are kind of, high rust areas, and it was appealing. However, brass, over time, cracks. It splits. Over 100 years or more, it can split and degrade. And I've seen those examples with splits. And a few people I know that have them, they have some cracks and splits in the brass. So they're more or less display pieces. But, you get a good tin version, you don't have to worry about that. Anyway, that's true. So we are. That's it. Well, friends, I'm hoping that you enjoyed this video and this little time that we had to share. And I'm grateful, again, for your continued subscriptions and liking the channel and sharing it with your friends, and yeah, just help me grow the channel, because every time you like a video, then it helps the algorithms. Yeah, it does. So I see I have 114 subscribers, and probably not all of them watch my content, and that's fine. I have plenty of channels I subscribe to. I don't always see their videos and whatever, but I try and like it when I watch one of them. So if you're watching this, go ahead and like it. I really do appreciate it, and it will help the channel and get us a little bit more added to the family, I guess you could say. Anyway, thanks again for stopping by. Thanks again for contributing and commenting and making this a special place on the internet. And I'll keep on continuing to share fun stuff and talk about history and old oil burning tubular lanterns and other historical pieces that I've got in my collection. So with that being said, have a great weekend. Have a memorable Memorial Day. That's right. It's Memorial Day weekend, friends. And some people say Happy Memorial Day. I'm like, actually, no. Have a Memorial Day, because it's about remembering those who gave the ultimate sacrifice in service and protection of our country. So go to a cemetery and put some flowers on those ancestors of yours that served our country in whatever war, and remember them and spend time thinking about them, because that's what it is about. And yeah, it's very important that you do that. And I know that I have a good community here that understands that and respects that, and I don't have to worry about you guys. You guys are good. But enjoy a barbecue and a gathering with family, but also share the stories and fly flag and remember what it's all about. Okay, guys? Thanks so much, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye. Sit, boo-boo, sit. Good dog.